Absolutely. I mean, it's the best possible news that we could have, and we've been concerned, as one is concerned, when a club of Chelsea's stature start to take an interest in a player, you know, suggest that a move to them might be the best bet. I've always hoped that wouldn't be the case, and that Michael would realise that at such a young age his future here is very bright, and we can help him move very quickly to another level if that's going to happen in time. But of course his decision has been his, and I'm just delighted now that the club, and I must congratulate Steve Parish and Doug Freeman on the fantastic job they've done in persuading him that, you know, with this pressure from the outside, and that this is your place, this is where we think you will progress in the right way, you will develop in the right way. And of course, as a coach and manager, it's perfect, because I really enjoyed the 10 games last year. I thought the squad was looking really very, very interesting. So when the chairman asked me, would you come back and do another year, I had that in mind. Of course, to lose to players like Wilf Zaha first and then Olise, that would have changed to some extent my perception of it all. So for me, it's a red letter day.
Did you speak to the player yourself and tell him your thoughts and your opinions on his future?
I had a long chat with him when the subject was first broached, but that's a long time ago. That's pretty much in the pre-season, soon after he got back. I had a long chat with him and made it clear to him, of course, you know, how much I enjoy working with him, what respect I have for him as a player, and what potential I think he has as a player. And in that, of course, I suggested that I thought that being at Crystal Palace and playing here would be the best option. But I also made it clear to him that I'm not going to put you under unnecessary pressure. You've got pressure from all sides. I can only tell you what I think, honestly, from my side. I'm always here for you to speak to me if you want to discuss it further. And as a result, I speak to you every day. We have a conversation, but I've actually shied away from actually asking, what are you going to do? You know, and giving further advice, because I did one day briefly in passing. I said, you know, what do you want me to say? You know what I think. You know what I've got to say, and hope we get the answer we want. That's what it's been like.
How challenging is it for Crystal Palace when you hear of a club like Chelsea? We've seen what they've been like in the transfer window, actively making a lot of purchases, a lot of young players coming in as well. How much of a challenge is it for a club like Palace to push those advances away?
That's very difficult, and you know, we're in quite a big group of players. I mean, there's a very wealthy group at the top of our league, in the Premier League, who are spending enormous sums of money, you know, from the hundreds of billions, even pushing up towards the billions of pounds, and that isn't what Crystal Palace are capable of doing, and it's not something which I would even suggest they should even think about doing, because we've done pretty well so far with the way the club's been operating. But of course, when you do get a team like the one that did so well at the end of last year, and you see that potential, it's frustrating to realise that sometimes these clubs are going to come in and with their wealth and even with the prestige and glamour of certain of those clubs, they're going to maybe tempt your players away. But it's a fact of life, and I think that you can only deal with it in the best possible way. And I think we're very fortunate here that in our chairman and our sporting director, we have two Palace people to start with who fully understand what Crystal Palace is and what Crystal Palace needs to be also in the future, while consistently trying to improve the team. And they have been capable of making certain that when we have lost players, the money's been reinvested, or we've found new ones, and in particular, this particular group of players that came pretty much at the same time, I think they've done wonderful work for the club, and they've really shown what a good job the recruitment has been here.
On Michael, obviously he's out injured at the moment. When are you expecting him to return? Because I can imagine when he does, knowing this news, that a lot of Crystal Palace fans want to give him a big warm welcome onto the pitch.
No, you're absolutely right, James. It's difficult with it. It was a nasty injury. I see Wolf, who had the same injury, has just returned to playing again. I think we're fortunate in the sense that he will be at the lower end of the scale because he's kept himself very fit. He's worked very hard on his rehabilitation and he wants to get back on the field as quickly as possible. So whatever time scale it was, I'm certain he'll shave a bit off, but it won't be for a while yet, unfortunately, because of the severity of the injury.
And on to transfer business. Steve and Dougie, how they working at the moment with a couple of weeks left in the window? They got any surprises up the sleeves for you?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they had some because they're good in those last weeks of the transfer window. But Michael's signing today, that has changed one aspect of our work. You know, to lose both a left-sided forward midfield player and a right-sided forward midfield player, that would have, you know, thrown us into some degree of difficulty. But I think at the moment we have a very, very good 11 anyway. Now Hughes, who will be fit again soon, and Michael are adding to that, if you like. We've got very good cover at the back. It seems to me now we don't need anywhere near as much as we would have done had we lost Michael. You know, he has solved a number of problem areas for us.